Hi folks, in this video I want to show you how you can, couple of ways to implement accessibility testing in Playwright. The first way is from official Playwright documentation. You can read more about it here on playwright.dev accessibility testing page. So basically you need to install Axe library by running npm install add Axe core Playwright, and then you need this short piece of code to check for any automatically detectable accessibility issues. You open the page, create new X builder, run analyze method on it, then compare that violations array is empty. But this is with default configuration, so let's run. I've already installed this library, added it to my project, so let's run and see how it looks. I'm using Best Buy website as an example. So you see, this is a default output. It says ensure image elements have alternate text, overall of none, or presentation. Element doesn't have attributes. Element has no title attribute, and so on. So a bunch of info in the output. So with this you can configure it to, you can dive more deeply in this page and check out configuration. If you need some specific configuration, like scanning the entire page, only some specific part of it. If you need to exclude or include some specific WCAG violations, you can also exclude something by adding some IDs and so on. So basically, if you need to dive more into configuration, feel free to read on this page. I'm just showing you the basic example. But and the second way is the task that I was given to check for some specific requirements on specific website. So I didn't use this standard approach. I implemented my own custom logic solution. I'm going to show you. So here I'm passing array of web pages to open and test. So what I'm doing in the loop, I'm going over, opening all of the pages, scroll to bottom for lazy loading to load all the content. Then I collect images without alt attribute, collect inputs without area labels, and collect buttons without area labels. And then if there are any of such, I am failing the test afterwards. So what do I check inside? I also added array just in case if I need to run it few times. For example, I ran it previous week, reported all the issues, and I need to run it one more time this week, and I don't want to see issues with elements that I've already reported. I can add them into this array from the output of these methods to see only newly discovered issues. But for now, for the initial run, it will be empty. Anyway, there is an option for that, and this code will be in my repo. The link to the repo will be in the description. So basically, I'm collecting images using this XPath with array hidden not true. You see not condition. I'm collecting alt attribute, src attribute, outer HTML. And basically, if alt text is less than 3 characters, I'm reporting it as a violation, as an issue. For inputs, it's a bit more tricky because I also need to check not only area labels on the input itself, but also check the labels that might be linked to that specific input, like for checkboxes, for example. So this method contains more code. You see a label for input. I'm taking input ID, searching by ID for specific label, and taking area label from those labels. And for buttons, I'm also just simply checking if it's not area hidden and doesn't contain class visibility hidden. This is some specific implementation on the website I am testing. So I would test only visible elements on the page. I'm also checking if area label not less than 2 symbols. So let's run and see this one. Here is just some before and after methods, not really related to accessibility, just to my framework implementation. Let's run and see. It also opens Best Buy website, scrolls it to bottom to get all the content loading from lazy loading. And now it will say other issues found, see details in the log. And how does my log look like? You see, scroll down 6 times, found 71 images with alt text concerns. So 33 images doesn't contain alt or empty alt text, and it outputs the element itself, HTML of the element, src of the image, and the alt value. For inputs, it checks also placeholders. And here you can see, for example, inputs with area label, 2 inputs and 1 doesn't have area label, but it has placeholder. But anyway, I'm considering it as a violation. And for buttons, also 41 buttons found on the page and 23 doesn't have area labels. Empty, empty, empty. So this is how you can implement some custom logic needed for you. And in terms of files, so I added 2 spec files, so you know where to look at the repository. So package.json, it's added this library by running npm install. This is spec example for Axe library. This is my custom logic spec. And I also added other compliance utils.js file where I where I store my ADA related functions and logic for it, so I can export it into any of the spec file that I needed. So for now it's 3 methods for images, for buttons, and for inputs. And basically that's it. Yeah, there is some small changes not related to this one. Page utils and web element utils. So yeah, at least you can start with this implementation and see how it goes, how developers and the team will react to fixing all of those. Because in my in my team, for example, when I ran it and reported a lot of issues, nobody wanted to fix them, but I've done my part and at least reported them. And everything else is up to the project management to give it the according priority and force developers to fix it. That's it. I hope it gives you the idea that it's not so hard to implement it. You need to put a little bit of effort. If you need some custom logic, like in my case, or you can just use ready to use example from Playwright website. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.